Hi, welcome back to Danny Harris Arts. In this part 2 segment of the Mallard Duck wood carving project, I'm going to be painting. So you can see I got my painting shirt on and I'm ready to get started on this. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them for me in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you consider subscribing. So I'm going to get the camera set up and get started. Okay, so I am ready to start painting here. You can see I've got it all gessoed. I sealed it, gessoed it, and I did that off camera just because that's just simply painting it white with gesso. So I'm gonna get started here. I'm gonna mix up a gray and start coloring in the sides to the duck. I've got some reference photos over here that I'm gonna be looking at. So I'm gonna start out with just a little bit of a gray. Of course, I'm gonna do that with white. And a tiny bit of burnt umber. If there's any in there, there's a little bit. I think I got another bottle in there somewhere. That it. That's raw umber. Oh, there it is. I want some raw umber too, so let me get that out. So, oh, I need some black. Just a tiny bit of black here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix up just a tiny bit of raw umber, just to give me a little bit of a off-white grayish color. A little bit more in black in there. What you doing, buddy? My dog's watching me. I'm just putting gray on areas it's going to be gray. Some of this will get covered up. I just want it to be kind of the base color. Okay, so I need to let that dry a little bit, and then I'm going to start blending in some of the browns. Alright, I'm going to put the black in back here on the tail. It's around the tail here. And there's kind of a line that goes down like that. My tail feathers are already white, but I'll put a little bit of a highlight on them here shortly. Thin that black down just a little bit. There is like a white stripe down through here that I need to put on there as well. I didn't show it on camera, but these little curly Q tail feathers were a pain in the butt to carve. but I got it done. Oh, got some on the tail feathers. I'll have to fix that. Not a biggie. Okay, so I've just mixed up some raw umber and a little bit of burnt umber with a little bit of black, and I'm gonna start putting these base colors in for the wings. Later on, I'll go in with the airbrush and blend these together back here, the browns with the grays. Right now, I just want to put the base coats on. I gotta mix up a little more of that gray. Okay, I gotta find the primary feathers because they're black on the ends too. Okay, I'm kind of establishing the saddle patterns of the feathers on the back here. Like I say, these are just base coats. I'll go back over these later with the airbrush and kind of blend everything together. But this just kind of lets me establish color blocks and what I need. And if there's any pro bird people out here, don't tear me up on this, because this is my first mallard, first carving I've ever done of a mallard, much less painting a carving of a mallard. I've painted plenty before. Okay, that first layer of raw sienna was just kind of established where the breast feathers are. I'm going back over it with a darker version of it now. That's closer to the actual color of the breast feathers. Okay, I took some this deep Viridian green and mixed just a little bit of light green with it, and then some black to get this dark, deep green here. I want it to be almost black because I'm going to add highlights on top of it. Matter of fact, that might need to be a little bit darker. And this is for the head, of course. There we go, see it. probably put 2 coats on this so that it'll cover that white well. Alright, so let me let that dry so I can get this other coat on there. I think that might need to be toned down just a little bit. So I'm going to put a little bit of this burnt sienna in with it, just to tone it down a little bit. Alright, I think I've got all the base coats on. I think I'm going to let those dry really well, and then I'll pick back up on this tomorrow and start painting feather detail in and put some highlights on everything. Oh, that bill looks crooked. Let me see if I can fix that. I'll do that off camera, but I'm going to get back on this tomorrow. For y'all, it's just going to be a second, but I'm going to stop for tonight there. Let this paint dry really well. And okay, I decided there was no way I was going to get the green hue on this head the way I wanted it with a dry brush. It's going to be much easier with an airbrush. So all I've done is I come out here and I mixed a little bit of light green and thinned it down with it's just acrylic 2 paint, but I just thinned it down with my reducer, and I'm just going to do some real light coats on these cheeks, the side of the head here, just to kind of give it that sheen of the green. Spraying on this the darker green, spraying this light green, I have to build it up in layers to get it to the intensity that I want. So I really want it to highlight on the cheeks and right above the brow. then I'm going to go shortly with some iridescent powders and really make that green shine. Alright, so and I also spray just a little bit of the brown here just to kind of make that transition into that gray a little smoother. I want the feather line here and here, but I wanted that to be more of a gradual gradation there. Alright, okay, we'll go back in now. Okay, so what I'm about to put in now here is the little blue and white iridescent patch that's on their wings. A lot of times a mallard at rest, that won't show. His wing will be down on the pocket and it won't show, but sometimes when they move their wings up, they'll unfold them slightly to reset them or ruffle them, and that'll show a little bit. And what I'm talking about here, and I'll show you on the phone here, is you can see a little bit of that here. So I want to add that in on this one. I've intentionally left its wings apart a little bit, and so that I can put that in, because I just think it'll add a little splash of color to the piece. So I'm going to put that in, and I'm going to paint the whole area white there and let it dry, so that I'll have a good color base for that blue to really shine. I'm also going to put, there's a white stripe around the back between this gray and the black, so I'm going to put that in. And while I have the white out, I'm going to go ahead and do this white stripe around the neck. It doesn't go all the way to the back. It kind of tapers out to a little point back there. So once I get around there to that side, I'll switch to a smaller brush. I'm going to let that dry a little bit, and then I'm going to start painting the color in the wings, the speculums. Okay, so I've decided to airbrush this blue on here because it needs to be a real subtle gradation from light to dark. So I went ahead and taped it off, and I'm just going to spray this light coat of blue on here first. Then and then I'll spray a dark on there to from front to back. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take that same color and make it a little darker, or a lot darker. This won't take much. I'm just going to go from the front to the back. I want it to be just a little bit lighter in the back. Peel the paint off and see what we have here. Peel the tape off. Okay, so I got the blue on, and I need to paint. There's little black stripes in between the blue and the white. And I got to make it look kind of like feathers because they're going horizontally through that stripe there. So I got some black going here. Kind of wider at the bottom here and tapers off at the top. This side is dried a little bit. Okay, I'm just putting some little indications of some feathers here. Nothing too elaborate. And then I'm ready, I think, to put the vermiculations on. And I'm going to do that with a charcoal pencil. So let me go get it. Okay, I don't know if this is going to show or not, but I'm just using a fairly hard charcoal pencil. And I'm just drawing in these little vermiculations here. And I'll go over each feather group or feather piece with the whole thing. I may kind of just outline the feather group first. And then I'll go over the whole thing like that. So I'm not going to show you the whole time because it's going to take a couple hours. So I'm going to come back and I'll show you progress. Okay, got all the vermiculations in. That's hard to say. And highlighted all the feather groups. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it outside and I'm going to put a few light coats of polyurethane matte finish to set these charcoal marks that I put in here so that they don't rub off. So I'll do that and I'll be back and we'll start putting on pigment powders to make everything glow, the iridescence of the feathers. Okay, so I've got some, I put a coat of a flat polyurethane matte finish on it, and then I've got some Pearl X pigment powders, and these will give it an iridescence. So I'm going to start with the blue here, the blue on these wings. I know you can't see that on camera. I don't think you can see that pearlescent. Well, you might be able to. That pearlescent effect, it gives it iridescent. And a little bit of this goes a long way, so then we do the green here. See, I don't want too much on there because I'm going to put a couple coats of it on there. Because when I put that on there, the polyurethane kind of kills some of the iridescence, so I have to put it on in several layers. And I don't want it over the whole thing. I just want it on little cheeky spots, little highlight areas. Like the cheeks, above the eye. Okay, so I'm going to go give that a coat of polyurethane and let that dry and come back and I'll do it again until I get it up to the intensity that I want. Okay, a little drop of UV resin. Tell you what, I'm going to do that on here. Little Q-tip to dab it on the eyes. Alright, take that out in the sun and that'll be cooked on. Okay, that's going to be it for part 2 of this Mallard duck wood carving project. Overall, I'm happy with it. It's the first one I've ever carved, so it was kind of a learning curve for me. It's only the second duck that I've ever carved. I did carve a pintail, and if you check that video series out, I appreciate it. But the reason for the small size is, and I think I mentioned this also, was because it's going to be used as a wedding cake topper. Had a lady contact me and commission me to do this for their wedding cake. So anyway, I'm going to get ready to ship this off here shortly. And if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them for me in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you consider subscribing and give me a thumbs up if you like these videos. And I will see y'all on the next project.